everyone, happy Monday. I know Mondays kind of suck in general, but hopefully this video will brighten your day a little bit. So this week on Simply Us, the theme is like advice. And even if it's not direct advice, we're going to talk about a topic that we can personally relate to. And hopefully it can help someone out in some way, even if we're not like directly giving you advice on it, but just talking about it can help. So the topic I want to talk about is, well, the title I'm going to give it is kind of weird, but I want to talk about complimenting strangers and talking to people that you don't normally talk to or you don't know real well. And I have social anxiety. It's not horrible, but it does definitely affect me in like everyday life and stuff. Like I have a really hard time talking to people that I don't know real well or just strangers in general. So it's hard for me to like branch out and meet new people because of that. And it might sound weird if you don't have it, like what's the big deal? I don't know why it's a big deal, but it is to me. And if you also have it, it would make sense to you, I think, because you can relate to it. It's hard for you to branch out and meet new people because of that. I totally feel your pain. I understand completely. So I know it's easier said than done, but let me just explain the story and then hopefully everything will kind of make more sense. So about a month ago, my friend was over, and I think it was around like 1 in the morning, and we were reminiscing about our friendship because he was leaving for college, I think 1 or 2 weeks after that, and he has gone now. But we were talking about how we became friends. It was kind of weird because we came from 2 totally different friend groups that did not intertwine or cross over, so it was strange that we are as close as we are. But basically what happened was we had the same AP government class, and I knew who he was and he knew who I was since freshman year just because we went to a small school, so everyone knew who everyone was. But we never talked prior to that. I think we said like hey to each other a couple times, like we just saw each other around, but we really didn't even have like a solid conversation. So I remember one day, it was in November, and it's funny because he brought this up to me. I didn't even remember that it happened until he reminded me of it. So I was in November, I think, and he was wearing like this cream sweater, and I thought it was a nice sweater. Like I thought it looked nice or whatever. And where I sat in the classroom was I sat by the pencil sharpener. So if you wanted to sharpen your pencil, you had to like walk by me. So he walked into class, and I was already there, and I was like, oh, I like his sweater. And I kind of wanted to say something to him about it, but I was like, no, I don't want to think that I'm like creepy or like creep him out or like weird him out, or since we don't talk, it might be weird, I don't know. And I was like having this internal crisis about whether to tell him that I like his sweater or not. So he gets up to sharpen his pencil, and I'm just like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna tell him that I like his sweater, it's not a big deal, just calm down, you can do it. So he walks by, and I was like, hey Jeff, I like your sweater. And then he just had like this huge smile on his face, and he was like, thanks Abby, and you know, sharpened his pencil, went about his business, and sat down. So, you know, it wasn't a big deal to me, it was a big deal because I didn't want to tell him, because I didn't want to freak him out. But like once I like got it out, I was like, hey, I like your sweater. It totally was not a big deal at all. And it really made his day, I guess, because me complimenting him on his sweater is actually what kind of sparked our friendship. Like he was telling me when he was over a few weeks ago that it really stuck with him that I took the time to tell him that I liked his sweater, and he thought it was really nice of me that I did say that to him. And it's weird that something so small, just as a tiny little compliment, can start like this huge friendship, because he is a really big part of my life now, and he is my best friend, and he means a lot to me. And because I complimented him on his sweater is what started all that, and it's just so weird. And it started like this like domino effect where like we introduced our group of friends to each other, and then we just like got this really solid friend group that became really close, and it's amazing that something like that started with a small compliment. I also think in that kind of situation, it's important to keep in mind how you would feel if the roles were reversed, like if you were the one being given a compliment. Because I know me personally, if someone does take the time to give me a small compliment, like hey, I like your hair, I like your shirt, I like whatever, it really does mean a lot to me, and it does stick with me, and I do remember it. And I know that a lot of people will hold back giving someone a compliment or saying something to them because they're afraid that they're going to creep them out or whatever. But I really don't think you should let that hold you back, because I do think it really will mean a lot to them, and it'll stick with them. So if you see some girl and you like her dress, be like, hey, I like your dress, that's a really nice dress. Or if you see some guy and you like his sweater, tell him you like his sweater. It may not start like a really strong friendship, but you could make a friend, or it could turn into a strong friendship, or it could turn into like a relationship or something, or you get a new best friend, or it'll just make at the least it'll make their day, and I think that that's worth it, because you never know if someone just needs to hear that. So basically what I'm getting at is don't be afraid to tell someone that you like something about them, or if like the personality, like hey, I like the fact that you're like funny, I don't know, you're funny, something like that. but just don't hold back because you're afraid. I'm just like awfully rambling right now because I have so many feelings about this and it's hard to like express them because I feel so strongly about it that you should compliment people because it mean a lot to them, and it's just, don't be afraid to branch out. Even if like you're not good friends with them, or you come from two totally separate groups of friends, like really different, you never know what could work. So in conclusion, I feel like I've repeated myself 50,000 times, but don't be afraid to compliment someone who you know but not real well, or just a complete stranger in general, because at the very least it would probably make them really happy or make their day, and to me that's totally worth it if you can make someone else happy just by giving them a really small compliment. So thank you guys so much for watching my video this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments down below of any videos you want to see in the future. We are totally up for suggestions and we could use all the help we can get. Thank you guys so much once again, and I will see you next Monday.